Okay, hello 10th graders. This is your tutorial for your thesis statement and your outline for your paper that's going to be due in a couple weeks. We have not done either of these before in class. If you have written an essay and it was right, you have written a thesis statement. You may or may not have done a formal outline. I'm thinking actually if you were here like in 5th grade, believe it or not, you had to do a mini formal outline. I know my kids did for Miss Moranto. So first we'll talk about the thesis statement. All right, and by the way, these are due on December 1st, okay? Tuesday, December 1st. I think I put it on there, on Friday. There's one day that I asked to see your progress, okay, on this to see that you've at least gotten started and you're not putting it all off until Monday, the day before it's due. Okay, Monday, November 30th. All right, so your thesis statement is your theme or your main driving idea for your entire paper. If you think about how a topic sentence relates to a paragraph, that is how your thesis statement relates to your whole essay, okay? It's usually found, and you don't have to write your whole introduction yet, but it's usually found at the very end of the introduction. You'll have like an attention-getting sentence and then maybe a little bit of history, some details, a couple details, interesting facts, statistics, and then you will segue into your thesis statement. And again, all I need right now is one sentence for the thesis statement, okay? For your whole paper. Something about your thesis statement. It is not a question, okay? Your thesis statement for your paper cannot ask a question. Now, the sentence before the thesis may ask a question, or the first sentence in the intro might ask a question, and then your thesis might answer it. But your thesis statement does never ask a question, okay? It should be a declarative sentence that you will back up with the facts and the rest of your paper. All right, come back. I'm going to move this, guys, and then I'll come back up here and talk, because I can't get the whole board in at one time. So, because Miss Shoemate's dumb when it comes to this stuff, but I don't think it would work for anybody, actually. Okay. All right. There we go. All right. So, now to your outline. Your outline should be either all in sentences or all in phrases, okay? You may do either one. Most of you will probably choose to do this because it is shorter and easier to do. But hear me out. If you do your outline and you do it thoroughly, in other words, you include most of what you're going to put in your paper in your outline. If you do a thorough outline in sentences, you're doing a lot of work on the front end, okay? If you do that, then when it comes time to write your rough draft, which you will be doing the middle to the end of that last week, of that week after Thanksgiving, so the week of the 30th through the 4th, you will be writing your rough draft that week, okay? If you write in whole sentences and put pretty much everything in your outline, you will have most of your paper, okay? At least the body of your paper. You'll have to do the introduction, you'll have to do the conclusion, but you'll have most of the body of your paper if you do it in whole sentences. But I will also accept phrases, okay? Just remember it needs to be one or the other, not a mixture, okay? In your outline here, number 4, remember, this is a formal outline. This isn't just a bunch of bullets down a page, okay? We're going to do a formal outline, which means we're going to use some Roman numerals. Your main points, and I'm going to also take a picture of a formal outline in MLA format so that you'll have that to go by as well, okay? But if you have a main point number 1, you must have a point number 2, okay? Now, do you have to have 3, 4, and 5? Not necessarily. If your information says you do, then you do. But the rule doesn't state you have to go past 2. But if you have a Roman numeral number 1, you must have a Roman numeral number 2, okay? If you have below those, your next points would be capital letters. If you have a capital A, you must have a capital B, and so on, okay? It's just the way it is. If you have stuff for A, but you don't feel like you have a B, you can do one of two things. You can either leave it out of your outline, but make sure that you mark it so you include it in your paper, or you can somehow include it up here, which if you're doing sentences, it's a lot easier to include an A without a B up here than if you're doing phrases. Okay. All right. For your paper as a whole, okay, and you guys are already supposed to have done research by the time you get to the writing of this. But just as a reminder, in case you haven't gotten, you need a minimum of 3 sources. Okay, that's a minimum. You may have more. The more sources, generally, the better your paper to a point, okay, to an extent. But a minimum of 3. May I use Wikipedia, blah, blah, blah. Well, at this point, again, hopefully you've already done most of your research. But the answer to that question is maybe, probably, okay? If you will scroll down to the bottom of the Wikipedia article you're interested in and see if see who or from where or from whom they got their sources, and those are reputable sources, then you're good, okay? You just gotta be a little bit careful with Wikipedia. Of course, no ask.com or anything like that, okay? If it's somebody's opinion, it doesn't go in your paper unless it's an expert in the field. Copy and paste URLs, okay? You don't have to put this on the bottom of your outline paper at the end, but if you do, you know where they are, so that when you go to do your works cited on your final draft, you have them and you haven't lost them. So, and I'm going to teach you how to do a works cited page a really simple way, but you have to have these, okay? You gotta have them. 10 to 12 font, okay? Not so tiny that Miss Shoemate has to get her reading glasses out, and not so big that you don't write very much. Okay, 10 to 12 font, Calibri or Times New Roman, one of those two, please, so I can read it. And then MLA format, okay? I am going to take a picture or 2 or maybe 3 of some stuff in MLA format, specifically your thesis statement and your outline for one, and post it with this so you can see what it's supposed to look like, okay? And then there will be another video, possibly as early as tomorrow. Yeah, no, it won't be tomorrow. It'll be early the next week, after Thanksgiving. A video showing some steps of writing your research paper. Okay, I know you guys know how to write an essay, sort of, kinda, but making sure that, you know, you get the right information where you need it. All right, so miss you guys, and hopefully we'll all be back together the week after Thanksgiving. Bye.